RiRi cries uncontrollably after what ASAP Rocky just said. The cameras were flashing. The room was glowing. And from the outside, it looked like another perfect celebrity night. Rihanna, RiRi, stepped into the private after-party looking breathtaking in a sleek black gown that shimmered under the golden lights. Beside her, ASAP Rocky looked calm, stylish, and unreadable as always. Together, they were still one of the most talked-about couples in the world. Every move they made sparked headlines. Every glance, every smile, every whispered exchange became internet obsession. But that night, something felt different. And before the night was over, RiRi would be left in tears, completely shattered by what Rocky said in front of everyone. At first, nobody noticed. The music was loud. The champagne was flowing. Famous faces filled every corner of the luxury rooftop venue. Celebrities laughed, influencers filmed themselves, and powerful executives mingled with artists under the warm Miami sky. But RiRi noticed. Because when you love someone deeply, you can feel when something is wrong before a single word is spoken. Rocky wasn't acting like himself. He wasn't holding her hand the way he usually did. He wasn't leaning close to whisper little jokes in her ear. He wasn't smiling at her. He kept checking his phone. Kept staring off into space. Kept looking like he was fighting some private war in his mind. At first, Rihanna tried to brush it off. Maybe he was tired. Maybe something happened with business. Maybe he was overwhelmed. But deep down, that uneasy feeling in her chest kept growing. And then came the moment that changed everything. One of the event hosts, a famous entertainment personality known for asking uncomfortable questions, suddenly invited Rocky onto the mini stage that had been set up near the pool. It was supposed to be light-hearted. Just some fun celebrity banter. A few jokes. A few questions. Nothing serious. Rocky hesitated for a second before walking up. RiRi stayed seated, crossing one leg over the other as she watched him with a soft smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. She could already tell. Something was coming. The host grinned into the microphone. "Ladies and gentlemen," he laughed, "we got one of the flyest men in the game tonight. ASAP Rocky in the building." The crowd cheered. Phones went up. People started recording. Rocky gave a small nod and took the mic. The host asked a few easy questions first, about fashion, music, fatherhood, his creative process. Rocky answered calmly. Cool. Controlled. But then the host asked the one question that made the whole room shift. He smirked and said, "Let's talk real for a second. You and Rihanna, everybody sees the glam, the style, the power. But what's something you've never said publicly about your relationship?" The crowd immediately got louder. Some people gasped. Others leaned in. And RiRi. She froze. At first, Rocky just stared at the floor. Then he looked up. And when his eyes found Rihanna across the room, something in his expression changed. The host laughed nervously. "Oh. That's serious?" Rocky didn't laugh. Instead, he lifted the mic slowly and said in a voice so calm it almost made it worse. "Yeah, there's something I've been holding in for a long time." The music in the background seemed to disappear. The chatter stopped. Even the wind felt still. Rihanna's smile faded. Her fingers tightened around the stem of her glass. And then Rocky said the words that would leave the entire room in stunned silence. "Sometimes, loving somebody that much can make you feel like you're losing yourself." The crowd went quiet. Dead quiet. No one moved. No one breathed. And Rihanna blinked slowly, as if her brain refused to process what she had just heard. Rocky continued. "People think when they see us, they see perfection. But they don't see the pressure. They don't see the expectations. They don't see what it feels like to wake up every day trying to be enough, for someone who Shines so bright the whole world stops when she walks in. A few people exchanged shocked glances. The host stopped smiling. This wasn't playful anymore. This was raw. And RiRi's heart started pounding. Because she could already feel this wasn't going where she wanted it to go. Rocky looked directly at her. And for a second, his voice softened. I love her. Everybody knows that. I probably love her more than I even know how to explain. The room exhaled slightly. But only slightly. Because his face still looked heavy. Still burdened. Still broken. And then he said it. The sentence that shattered her. But I've been hurting in silence. RiRi's entire body went still. Her lips parted. Her eyes widened. And just like that, all the noise inside her chest became too loud to ignore. Hurting? In silence? What did he mean? Why would he say that here? Why now? The room suddenly felt too small. Too hot. Too exposed. People were no longer just enjoying the night. They were witnessing something painfully real. Rocky swallowed hard and continued. Sometimes the strongest people in a relationship are the ones nobody checks on. The ones everybody assumes are okay. The ones expected to keep smiling, keep showing up, keep being solid, even when they're falling apart inside. Rihanna lowered her gaze. And the moment she did, one single tear slipped down her cheek. Then another. Then another. She quickly turned her face away, hoping no one would notice. But it was too late. People noticed. The cameras noticed. And the internet would notice too. But at that moment, none of that mattered. Because all she could hear was the sound of her own heart cracking. Rocky's voice shook for the first time. I never wanted to embarrass her. I never wanted to make it seem like I'm ungrateful. But I've had nights where I sat alone in rooms full of people and still felt invisible. RiRi covered her mouth. Her breathing became shaky. And the women seated beside her instinctively reached for her hand. But she barely felt them. Because she wasn't hearing the room anymore. She was hearing every moment she might have missed. Every time he went quiet and she assumed he was fine. Every time he smiled and she didn't ask what was really wrong. Every time life moved so fast that she thought love alone would automatically protect them from pain. And now, here he was. Saying it out loud. In front of the world. And it was tearing her apart.